This next panel gives a unique perspective on the life of an entrepreneur, and more specifically, the advantages of entrepreneurs partnering with Amazon to help their businesses thrive.
Please join moderator Brandy Nellums, PR and Executive Comms for Small Business Empowerment, as she leads a conversation with panelists and entrepreneurs Claire Contreras, Willamisha Hall, Sandra Manay, and Crystal Swain-Bates about the successes and challenges that come with partnership, as well as what growth looks like as part of Amazon's diverse business ecosystem.
At Amazon, thinking big is a way of life. It means that we are constantly innovating on behalf of our customers, and as you'll see today, in conversation with Claire, Sandra, Crystal, and Willamisha, we are also innovating on behalf of our millions of small business partners. Today, we will talk about how Amazon connects and empowers entrepreneurs across every community. Just a few of the ways we do that, we're going to give you a glimpse into Amazon's diverse business network. This panel is designed to amplify the voice of diverse business entrepreneurs and the opportunities available for them to engage with Amazon beyond joining just as an employee. Our conversation centers Black and Latinx entrepreneurs who have partnered with Amazon across our many services and platforms to power their businesses. My name is Brandy Nellums. My pronouns are she and her, and I am a small business enthusiast and advocate here at Amazon. Today, I'm going to allow my distinguished guests and panelists to introduce themselves, starting with you, Claire.
My name is Claire Contreras, and I am a New York Times bestselling author who publishes contemporary romance and romantic suspense on Amazon.
My name is Sandra Manay, and I'm the co-founder of Luna Sundara, a company that sources aromatherapy products and home decor items from Latin America.
I'm Crystal Swain-Bates. I'm the owner of Goldest Carrot Publishing, and I write books that normalize Black girl magic and brown boy joy.
I'm Willamisha Hall, the COO and co-founder of Rail Safe First, and we build solutions for state, local, and federal government to make sure that they can reach the communities that they need to.
Awesome. Ladies, thank you for joining me today for this conversation. We will dig right in. You have given us a high-level overview of who you are and the companies that you have founded. I'd love to dive in a little deeper, starting with you, Crystal. If you could tell me a little bit more about your business, how you got your start. I do know that you partner with Kindle Direct Publishing for your publishing yourself and Claire. So I would start with you two, and I would love to learn more about your business.
Sure. So I started publishing my books back in 2013 when I realized there was a huge lack of diversity when it comes to children's books. So instead of complaining about it, I decided that I would be the person to change it. I'd always wanted to publish my own books, but I didn't know how. And then I discovered Amazon's KDP program, and the rest was history. I've been able to publish 15 children's books through KDP, and I have more on the way. So I'm absolutely loving it.
I have two nieces who will be reading your books.
Yes.
Claire, tell us a little bit about your KDP journey.
I always wanted to publish books. That was always a dream of mine, but I didn't realize that I could do it myself until I discovered KDP back in 2012. And once I discovered that I could do it on my own, I thought, why not? Let's see what happens. And the rest is history.
That is great. Now, Willamisha, you leverage AWS tools to help communities and cities kind of manage COVID and diseases. Tell us a little bit about how you got started in that business.
Well, you know, Brandy, that's a great question. And before I tell you how, I think it's important you understand the why. We went in wanting to make sure that we build safer communities. And with that platform, which initially started resulting of, decreasing gun violence, we were able to identify that platform was able to evolve to safety in schools for our kids. With that, we worked alongside our state, local, and federal government partners where we developed anonymous reporting tool. In the midst of that implementation, while we were working with AWS as a Amazon partner, that's when we had to really respond to the demand of our customer. And that's when we started implementing that same platform to being able to work with COVID.
That is awesome. That's awesome. Now, Sandra, you know this almost better than anyone. Amazon has more than 300 million customers, and you have your goods currently available for sale on Amazon. How did this journey come about?
When we just launched our website, we had no marketing tools, we had no budget for anything. So we went straight to Amazon, and we were able to reach customers that wouldn't be able to find us otherwise, and they were able to ship worldwide. Our customers sometimes felt a little bit scared to buy from a small business, and I understand that fear because you never know who they are. But Amazon, what they did is they help us with the story, and they did the story that featured my mother and I. They did the story that featured our small business. They came to the warehouse, so they help us put our story out there and get customers more comfortable. Now we have customers from all over the world. They're like, we found you on Amazon, and they're in remote areas that I just wouldn't expect to see my products. And the most exciting part for me is to see my artisans in Latin America being like, oh my God, my products, my craft is traveling worldwide. So that's the best gift that I could have with Amazon.
That's awesome. Tell us a little bit more about that. So you have artisans over in Peru who help to manufacture and put together your products, and tell us how that connects to kind of your culture and your mission.
Yes, I'm Peruvian, and I always wanted to work with Latin American artisans. So as soon as I finished college, I went back. My work has always been with art. So when I went to Peru, I said, I want to start a company and I want to help the artisans in my town, in my community. And so that's what I do. I travel throughout Peru and Ecuador, and I just meet artisans, or I just, now I'm going to go to the Amazon and meet a community. And then I go back and I ask, do you know anyone? They're like, oh yeah, there is a community 3 hours away. Just have to travel for 3 days. Okay, let me just do it. And it's so exciting. It's very interesting. I love what I do, and I'm so happy that these communities can see their products on Amazon and to have many people use them. So it's been amazing.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Crystal, you also have, as we all do, a personal connection to your story. So you center children of color in your books. Tell us a little bit, how do you get inspired for your stories, and how does that process work?
Well, I grew up loving to read. I read so many amazing books as a child, and unfortunately, although they were great books, none of them had Black characters. And representation is really important. There are so many Black parents who are out there and they're looking for books with characters that look like their children, and they're very hard to find. And so because I was once that child that needed and wanted to see books with characters that look like me, now I'm really passionate about making sure that I create the books that I wish existed when I was a child.
That's great. At Amazon, we are guided by a set of leadership principles. They are all equally important, but at the top of the list is customer obsession. So it means that while we might pay attention to our competitors, we are obsessed about serving and meeting the needs of our customers. So I would love to know, Wilmisha, who are your customers, and how does Amazon help you to center them in the work that you're doing?
Well, our customers are actually our customers, and those are the communities that we serve. We work with, like I say, state, local, and federal government, and government is the people. Government is the public. We are government, right? And when it comes to giving those entities, those government entities, the solutions that they need to serve our communities, it's easy because we are the members of those communities.
That's great. So you're using AWS Connect, is that right?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about how you incorporate that.
Great question. So during the midst of the pandemic, when we pivot that report anonymous to that we were working with the schools, we were able to build a 300-man call center with Amazon Connect. And that was extremely important because, as you know, it was hard to get resources, hospitals, access to water, food. And what we did was we made sure that we allowed members from the community to be available to talk to other people. Hey, go here, go there. That hospital is busy. You can go to this care facility instead. And it sort of allowed us to obviously work on behalf of our customer, but again, work for our customers. And we were obsessed with our customers because, again, we were working with people that was from the community, So it was one of those things that we answered the demand of what was going on during the pandemic, but we also answered to the need of our customers.
I love that. Innovating on behalf of customers. Every Amazonian watching right now will understand what that means. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about how working with Amazon and KDP helps you to be customer obsessed?
Yes. So oftentimes well, not often, but sometimes it has happened that like a book, for example, a paperback is damaged or something happens and the customer receives it and they email me and complain to me and I tell them like, I'm sorry, like let's contact Amazon. And it's never been an issue in the sense that like from the moment they say something, it is dealt with quickly. The customer is always super happy. Something always comes out of it. They connect with me, we connect with Amazon, and they always end up happy because Amazon is able to facilitate a solution for them, a quick one. So it's been great in that sense.
Yeah, that's great. Great. I love to hear the ways that Amazon is helping you reach your customers and invent on behalf of them. The next question is around kind of intersectional identities. You know, we all live at where our race, our age, our experience all intersect. And I'm curious as to how that has shaped your entrepreneurial journey. Starting with you, Sandra.
Well, yes, that is pretty much everything. That's who we are, and that, you know, being Peruvian, being Latina did everything, and having a tool to be able to give back to my community and to think, you know, I'm an immigrant in this country, my mom too. So to be able to thank my communities in Latin America and also employing people here has been great. And also as we grow, we can employ more people, and it has been a gift. So this is who we are. And I'm an immigrant, and I'm able to share my culture with the world.
That's great. What about you, Wilmisha? How has your intersectional identity kind of helped you along your business journey, or are there any unique problems you faced and had to overcome because of that?
It helped bring value to our customers. And I say that to say that oftentimes they're trying to figure out how can they reach that end user, how can they reach the community. And me being from the community, me being really unapologetically Black, and being authentic and being true to myself, let them know, the people you're trying to reach, I am that person, right? So it gives them that sense of ease to know that, okay, whatever you're developing for us, you're developing from the end user perspective, from the people that we're trying to serve perspective, because again, I'm the same individual that you're trying to serve. I live in the communities that you're trying to get into, right? We understand the sensitivity of the communities. And we always look at it in two ways. And this is why it's important how we intersect that. We know that we're working with communities that are trying to be safe and communities that are already safe. And with that, we bring value because, again, we are those communities. And AWS did an amazing job of allowing us to do that because, again, we've been able to pivot at the drop of a dime with the support and the empowerment of AWS.
Yeah. Claire, what about you?
As an immigrant myself, I feel like a lot of times we don't see all of the options we have in front of us. It's kind of like, become a doctor, become a lawyer. It's always certain jobs that our parents want us to do. And I feel like this specifically has made me not only realize it, but talk to other kids. Like, you don't have to be what your parents want you to be necessarily. Like, we have so many opportunities, and I feel like in this itself, publishing, being an author, like that's a huge career. And I wish somebody had told me that when I was young and trying to do it. But I didn't have anybody who said, yes, be an author, that's a career. So I'm glad that I'm able to do it, because that way people can say, hey, she does it, why can't I?
Yeah, that's great. Speaking to that young girl out there, you can be an author too. And KDP can help. Crystal, how about you? How does that intersectional identity help to support your business?
Well, for me, I would say being a Black woman means that I'm able to see gaps in the market, things that I wish existed for us and they don't. And it can be really hard to see those gaps when you're not a part of that community. So I'm able to come up with a lot of innovative creative book ideas and product ideas that are things that I know my community is looking for. And then to Claire's point, no one told me about being an author when I was young. And that's why it's so important to me to let other women know, hey, you can write your own books, you can self-publish. This can be a very lucrative career for you if you know how to do it, and you actually can do it yourself. So this entire entrepreneurial journey has been a really big part of my life, and it's something that I want a lot of other women of color to know that they can do as well.
One key thing that I'm kind of pulling out of this is sometimes we look at those labels or the intersection of those labels as a hindrance or a burden, and it's an asset. You bring your cultural identity with you. You're able to have a perspective that others may not have. You own it. It's there when you walk in the room. It is an asset. That's great. So Amazon works with more than 2 million small business partners across KDP, delivery service partnerships, selling on Amazon, building AWS tools, building Alexa skills, more than 2 million partners. So I'd say the entrepreneurial spirit is alive and well on Amazon. And what we saw through COVID was just, I think they're calling it the startup boom. According to the US Census, they do a new business tracker. There were more than 4 million applications for a new business filed with them in 2020. So again, the startup boom. I'm going to ask how, through the midst of COVID, in the midst of so much uncertainty, and I'm sure that impacted both like your personal and professional lives, if you're anything like me, how were you able to keep that entrepreneurial spirit alive and well in your business? Like, what kept you motivated?
At first, when the pandemic started, Amazon, for instance, I'm a seller on Amazon, and they said, for a month, you can sell your product, you can send products in because we're going to focus on main necessities. And I was freaking out. I had containers stuck in 2 countries, and all of these products can, if they get too hot, they get mold or destroyed, and I didn't know what to do. I was supposed to fly to Peru, I couldn't do it, and then I was able to sell my products on Amazon, and my sales growth went from 100 to 300%.
Wow.
And I was seeing the sales, and I couldn't believe it. I was very excited, but then I had to bring the products in. So it was a challenge, and even though COVID was very hard for a lot of people, we ended up growing a lot, hiring a lot of people, getting a warehouse. My husband quitting his job and just doing Luna full time. So it was a blessing. It has been very good for us, at least.
Yeah, we saw a lot, personally, a lot of support small words and chants through the last year. And you're an example. You can support small on Amazon, and that is tremendous growth. How about you, Omisha? How were you able to keep that entrepreneurial spirit alive in the midst of COVID?
Being honest, COVID hit home for me because I lost a couple of family members and friends.
Sorry to hear that.
So, I realized that I needed to use myself as a vessel it's emotional when I think about it, to make sure that my community understood the importance of COVID and how it was hitting our communities. So I stood out there on the front line. I'm not a nurse or anything like that, but I stood out there, and I remember when family members would pull up to our testing sites, and I would have conversations with them, and they would be like, oh, it was refreshing for them to see me there. And for them to have those conversations, and I'll talk to them with their kids in the background, or, I'll be like, where's your mom? Your mom's on the way, So that way I was inviting the family, and that was my goal, to make sure that more people were getting tested and vaccinated without saying, hey, go get tested and vaccinated. But I showed up, and it helped our business. Of course, we thrived. But honestly, it was an emotional time, again, because a lot of my friends, a lot of my peers didn't take it serious until it hit home for them. So showing up was how I thrive. And then also, being able to provide that outlet where they can go and get tested and vaccinated, because honestly, it was in the outskirts of our community. We had our local municipalities fighting to make sure that we set up sites in those communities. And we were able to tell them that, well, we can deliver, we can test hundreds of people in so many minutes, and that was because we had the platform. That was because of the support that we had with AWS. You know, when we talk about the Amazon Connect, being able to personalize the process, that was extremely important. We had individuals who would call in and say, I get off of work at 6 and I know you close at 7. You know, I'm gonna try to make it. We'll be like, that's fine, and we'll give you a call back at 6:30 and see where you at in traffic, and we can see, like, it was so personal. I don't mean to brag and just go on and on, but it was so personal. We had a household. It was a family of 6. They wanted to bring their child to the site to get vaccinated. And, well, the family wanted to get vaccinated, but the child was disabled. And the mom said, you know, I really want to come, but, you know, it's difficult. It's difficult for me to bring the child out and, you know, bring everything that's needed. And we said, well, don't worry about it. We'll make it work. She called the call center. She gave us the address. We already had an assistant from previous when they called, and we sent our nurses. We sent the nurses to the home. You know, she called back. She was like, oh, tell them it's the back gate, not the front gate. I have the code. And they enjoyed, they were so excited that they could just call us. You know, it wasn't like just coming up to a line and, you know, pull to the side. Like, they were actually talking to the people. When our nurses got there, she was like, oh, it was you that I was talking to, because we had our agents transfer the call to the on-site individuals. You know, we had our doctor on site. We really use Amazon, the infrastructure of Amazon. And I want to point out something. You know, the infrastructure during the pandemic, that it allowed for you all to be able to provide a tangible product. When you talk about the books that you were able to provide to the families and to the homes, that's amazing. Not only did it allow you to deliver that tangible product, it allowed you to be able to bring some type of joy, right? Some type of satisfaction, some type of identity, some type of purpose, right? The infrastructure that AWS gave us, it allowed us to drive and deliver results for our customers and our customers' customers. So it's been an amazing journey, but I just wanted to share that.
That's great. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because, you know, you don't think about this tool in the cloud,
Right.
being able to help draw these type of hand-to-hand interactions and personal community connections. Thank you. So I will kind of jump off of your question. Crystal and Claire, you all do create these pieces of entertainment through the books that you write and you publish, and inspiration and romance for people. And how did you kind of power through what could have been like a really hard year in the midst of both business and personal to create and deliver these stories of inspiration and love and joy? I'll start with you, Crystal.
Oh my goodness. So whenever I talk about 2020, I always say it was the best of times, it was the worst of times.
Appropriate, because that's like how a book opens, right?
That is how I always describe it, because in terms of business, it was the best business year ever. Now, mind you, bookstores were not ordering books anymore. I lost all my wholesale orders because bookstores were shut down. All of my speaking gigs were canceled. All of my in-person events were canceled. Things that I make a really good amount of money at to sell my books, canceled. So everything was shut down. And so normally it's like, well, if everything was shut down, how was it your best business year? And it's because everyone was at home and everyone was ordering on Amazon. And Amazon was one of the only places that was still shipping that you could rely on. And so because I partner with KDP, I don't have to worry about printing the books or shipping the books or dealing with customer service or anything like that. So literally people were still getting the books and they needed to entertain their kids. So they were ordering everything and my sales increased by like 8-fold. So absolutely amazing. And all of this in the midst of a very difficult year. So, you know, I'm so glad to know that my books are able to get into the hands of the children who need them, even during a pandemic. And a lot of people now are worried about a new shutdown, more shutdowns, and I'm not worried about it because I know that Amazon is going to take care of me and my business.
That's awesome. So Claire, single girl here. I will be adding you to my Kindle very soon. How were you able to still kind of deliver these messages of love and hope through the pandemic?
So writing them was a little bit difficult in the beginning because of, you know, everybody, we lost people as well. And it was a difficult time to write the romance and the happy books. But it was also a necessary time to do it because I'm one of those people who who turns to, romance books or just books in general to make me feel better about whatever situation I'm in. So I knew that that was important. And what I did with Amazon was I put all of my books into KDP Select because a lot of my readers, I have a big Facebook group, and a lot of my readers were saying, I lost my job, my husband lost his job, but I'm still gonna keep reading in Kindle Unlimited or KDP. So I thought, well, I can't be in the front lines. I can't do anything for all of the, I wish I could, put us all in a bubble and save us. But because I couldn't do that, the only thing I could do was, okay, I'm going to take my books and put them all in KDP Select because I know that even though you lost your job, you say you're keeping this program. So you know what? Here's a book. You can read it. So that was what I did.
That is great. So passion, mission kind of had all of you all powering through this past year. And what we're currently facing. So that's good to hear. So I gave some stats just a bit ago about the entrepreneurial spirit and just how many people are out there filing and starting businesses. I can say from what I have seen that is still happening now. We're midway through 2021. So I would like to know, what is your advice for would-be entrepreneurs, entrepreneurs who are either like currently with a product in hand or have a book in mind or thinking of something that they can create using all of these amazing AWS tools? What actionable advice or words of encouragement would you give them as they kind of face entrepreneurship this year? Wilmisha.
Show up. Get started. When you get started, the universe is going to send you your support. I say that to say that the possibilities are endless, right? We started our platform working around gun violence. It evolved into anonymous reporting too with the support of AWS, right, for schools. And then in the midst of everything that was happening, we were able to pivot immediately to serve the demand of what was going on in our communities, right? So I say that to say anything is possible, right? Because we got started. So because we got started, when you think of safety, when you think of crowds, when you think of women going to the gas station, right? Thinking of a way to be safe. I want you to think of real estate first, right? But I also want you to think as a potential entrepreneur, it's because we got started. So you too, as a potential entrepreneur, and you are an entrepreneur because if you're watching this and you're listening, you're on the right track already.
That's right.
You're already on the right track. So get started and show up, and the support will be there for you.
I love that. I once heard, start your business. You can make it perfect later.
Yeah. You can make it perfect.
Yeah. A lot of our selling partners always talk about, launching the business, and they lean to Amazon reviews to kind of refine the product and get that one-to-one reaction from customers about what's best. So then this is a segue to you. What advice do you have for entrepreneurs seeking to start or launch a business this year?
Don't think too much about it. Just launch it. I think if you're thinking about all of the issues that you're going to have in the future, or if you know too much, if someone was to tell me right now, hey, you're going to deal with all of these issues, I would say, no, I can do it. I won't do it because you're already stressing out about things that didn't happen yet. So just go for it. And as she said, the universe will follow and everything will come to you and it's going to be the best gift, and just do it. Don't stress too much.
Love it. Claire?
I would say the same. I would say find something you're passionate about and go for it. Do whatever you're passionate about, just start, because nobody else is going to do it for you. And you don't want to look back in 10 years and say, man, I should have done that. So go for it. I mean, we're in 2021. All of the information is out there. So whatever you want to do, somebody else has either done or has started researching how to do it. So there's no reason not to.
Yeah. How about you, Crystal?
Well, I would say find something that you're really interested in, find something that you like, then find somebody who's already doing that. Reach out to them, email them, social media, reach out and just say, hey, I see that you're doing this and I would love to get into this. Do you have any advice for me? Because there's no point in starting from zero when you can get the blueprint from someone else. And then start your business and don't be afraid to fail. You know, they say done is better than perfect. So just start it knowing that you can always course correct during the process. But you can't course correct if you never started anything to begin with.
I love that. Done is better than perfect. There's someone out there who makes t-shirts, and you're going to see that on a t-shirt, and it might be me. So the purpose of our conversation was to, talk through the diverse business opportunities that are available in partnership with Amazon. And I think that you ladies certainly are great examples, like I said, of the more than 2 million small businesses that partner with Amazon to kind of drive their business success. And so I want to thank you so much for your partnership, and thank you for this conversation. Thank you for sharing your journeys with us. And to close, in one word, I would like for you to summarize your, maybe not a goal, but tell me the one word that is going to push you through your entrepreneurial journey for the rest of 2021 in partnership with Amazon. One word that you're using to drive through the rest of the year. And we're just going to kick it off with you, Claire, and go down the line.
I'm going to say inclusion.
Passion.
Disrupt.
Safety.
And with that, thank you for joining us for this conversation today, this inclusive, passionate,
Disruptive
conversation that we safely delivered to you. Thank you.